What is SAP HR? So this is the interview series guide, which will be helping you to crack your interviews. You may watch it as many as time possible and prepare your answer. Do not follow the answers, whatever has been given here. Rather, I will tell you, follow your answer. Then next question is, what are the different some modules in HR, I believe? Yes, no, this is a bit something related to how workflow is related to SAP HR. So basically, workflow we have seen a lot of functionalities. So basically, especially in the leave application or your any kind of time set approval, right? So position management, position change approval. So it can be both standard workflow or it can be custom workflow. So that is another question generally asked in the interviews. How workflow is related to SAP HR? You can share your experience, so then you can answer accordingly. Next is, which are the sub-modules in SAP HR? It's an easy one. We do have recruiting, we do have org management, PT, travel and training and event management, compensation management, time management, payroll, ESS, MSS. Now, the next question is describe the various structures in SAP HR. So, what are the different structures available in SAP HR? We can say enterprise structure, personal structure, or structure. So, we will see major structures which are available in your SAP HR. So, you can see the answer here. And definitely, you may have to connect where exactly these are available, in which input types you have to remember. So, accordingly, you can answer them very nice in your interview. Next one is a very fundamental question. What is an info type? Right. So there are better definitions compared to this. I'm expecting you to answer these things as well in the community. What is an info type, basically? So you can write better answer than this, but this is just for your reference. So now the next question is, this one I talked about, but it is input type. Now the next one is something called subtype. So again, you see input types are classified accordingly. So what are the different ranges of input type? There are volume-related input types, which lies between 1,000 to 1,999. Then time-related input types, we do have 2,000 to 2,999. And all kind of custom input types, those will be fall into the 9,000 series, right? So that is your customer-specific input type. That will be fall into the 9,000 series of input types. Then next one is what is the time constraint one? There are different time constraints. So this is also you have to explore and you have to answer them correctly. How with an example. Okay, so in the interview they will be asking what are the different time constraints available in the input types. So that you can get through. Then how can you maintain information for an input type? Okay, so this is again master data related question. So in your HR master data, PF30, PF40 transaction. So how do you maintain that? They have asked it here. The next one is which personal actions have you performed for an employee, your HR, or in SAP HCM. So you must have done a lot of things, but these are some of the examples most frequently used, like hiring or appointment, transfer, terminate. So these are the different action types you can say, which generally people take it. So this is also a very useful for you. Now coming to the next question, this is related to payroll, where the payroll results are stored. So this is again a PCL2, where can you find them? PC_pay result. Then what is match code W? So basically it's a list of all personnels in select payroll area that has been rejected by the payroll run because of the incorrect data. That means the payroll has not been run for them successfully. Personal numbers, they are included. the match for W, so that I change in correction page of the payroll. Right. So then they asked about the time-related info types. So you can see the 2001 series, 2001, 2002, 2003, 2007, 0007. So they are the different time-related info types, right? And the next question is how do you record your time in your SAP HR system, right? So they have asked questions like there are different processes, whether it can be done by the time administrators, it can be, we can have a different time recording systems like Kronos, and they can also be integrated with SAP HR, and otherwise it can be your CAD system, cross application time sheet. So this is also a most commonly asked question. Okay, and also the ESS is also an option, right? Custom system interface, we can have this custom interface and all. Then these questions are mostly related to your payroll. You can see what is meant by pay scale structure, how can you configure pay scale structure. Then, so do not rely on these answers. You can frame your answers by searching in the SAP system, and you can develop your answer from there. The next question is how do we import pay scale data from non-SAP to SAP, right? So the legacy transfer is the same for payroll. So you can say, just refer the question, not the answer here. You can answer in your own way. How to assign a person to different person number and allocate him to different company codes and generate a single invoice. Suppose a person, this is a very interesting question. So suppose for a person, I have two personal number A and B. I want to send him to one company in the morning, in other in the noon. How should I do this? So we can see that they are giving the percentage in OM, that's a concurrent employment. But again, in this scenario, even if you are having concurrent employment, it is not possible to assign two personal number for one person, right? You can assign him to work with two personal IDs numbers with the same number and make an invoice. So this is more a kind of extended workforce management, which we call in SuccessFactors, when we do have concurrent employment, and other than that, we do have SAP less. But this is a question is asked from SAP HCM point of view, so we can answer them accordingly. Now, next question is very interesting. They are asking about what is meant by a schema. So that the official definition of a schema, then you can answer, you can see it here. And how do you restrict the data to be entered in the payroll area? So that also you answer how to restrict, if any data to be restricted in the payroll area. Next question is related to authorizations. So this is, they will be asking, this is a basic question, but still as an HR consultant, you must be knowing that what is the basics of authorization, what is necessary. HR security, who say they consider security, which is an RPP in your success factor, but necessarily HCM, we do have authorization concept. So they will be asking what is the, so you can see the transition code is PFCZ, and generally this is people who are working at developer side or functional consultant, they will be having this access. But anyway, they may ask this question as well. So we have to be very careful. What is the difference between Indian payroll and US payroll? This I like this question. So basically, mostly the input types will definitely vary because every country has their own taxation principles, taxation process, right? So that way we can mention. Okay, we can give some example. Give me a brief description of the IT tax. So the income tax, so we can answer accordingly. So as I was saying, just this is again some experience shared by the people, but you can give a actual, so IT tax means income tax recipe. So you can talk about from an Indian point of view, if you work for Indian payroll, you can talk about Indian payroll tax system, right? So how do you differentiate tax for different countries? So taxation, so they are saying has so many users exist to be created, which means all happens maybe from a new version of the taxable images. But most of the things, they are all statutory things. So you don't have to worry much. So generally taken care by SAP. Next is what is meant by slab. How is Indian and slab in US? So this is again, most of the time, this is related to your taxation part. So do not rely upon these answers, like I was saying, just follow the questions and you should have write your answer of your own. And you can share it in our community, Success Labs Academy. Next question is, what are the dynamic actions? Give some examples. This is a very commonly asked question, so you have to answer it very nicely. So with an example, okay, always give an example whenever you are giving. This is a very important question whenever it comes to the PA model of SAP, right? So you have to answer it now accordingly. Then next one is recruiting cycle, but this is again common for whether you're working in SuccessFactors or SAP HCM. So what is recruitment cycle? So this is the complete process of starting from vacancy creation to displaying the same, notifying of them, inviting applicants. So entire thing can be done in the SAP HCM also. But from my user experience point of view, so there it has been evolved. So from after SAP HCM recruiting module, there was a e-recruitment module. Then now we are using most companies that prefer to use SuccessFactors recruiting module, right? But in terms of process, the process remains the same. So you can see that. So it's a very generic question, not any specific product related question. So we can answer it accordingly. Next question is, what is qualification deficiency? Right. So this is again related to the PD module, the personal development module, not directly OMPA. But you can see that whenever in any organization there is any skill mismatch, because suppose to perform a particular job, you require a particular set of qualifications. There are some required qualifications, whether you are having that or not, right? Accordingly, this system will say that you are deficient of this kind of qualifications. Okay, so that is again, you can refer 5129, that is in your Infotypes, right? Now the next question is, what is IT 41 used for? How do I default IT 41? So this is also very nice question. So, right. You can, if you have referred Infotypes 41, it's all about your date specifications, right? Whether when you are joining, when you are leaving, any kind of a probation period, if you are having, let's say 6 months, 3 months, and all. And it is mostly used for any kind of development doing. Let's say there will be a letter or email notification will be generated from the system after probation is completed. Okay, so those kind of things, if the date will be captured here in this Infotype, and accordingly you will be getting your notifications. So for that is mostly that is for purpose mostly you will use. And the standard system we can see it's a contains 12 combination date type and date. And if you require more, then you can use the time constraint 3. So that is a trick here. So accordingly, you have to plan, right? Now, going to the next question. Suppose the client wants the vacancy to be displayed on the website as well as ESS. How should I do it? I only know ESS use this. Explain about ESS, right? Okay. So this is again vacancy mostly from a ESS point of view to think about it, right? So it is mostly related to the benefit payment, working time, career, and all those things. And if you want to showcase them, then just you need some kind of authorization. So this is pretty much straightforward in SuccessFactors, but it is not directly. I have not seen it from my experience. You have to give some access to the employees that you can explore. But again, in this today's date, as we speak in 2022, these things are, even I really don't want to see it. Mostly people have gone for SuccessFactors. So long back, 10 years back, I had seen these questions. So just for a recap, so we can see it here. Then explain the uses of simple maintenance interface. So this is something which you must have studied in your OM module, in org management module, so that you can explain. So that's okay. Now the next question is again easy one. So this is related to your what is the info group. Okay, so you can answer that. So that's a very difficult question. So I'll just quickly go to that. So you can take a snapshot, or if you want to have understanding what is the use of info groups, right? So the question and answer are here. But as I recommend, always write in your own way. So then we do have what is processing class, where do them use and why it is used, right? So connected. Okay, so this is again a payroll question. You can answer that accordingly. Then next is what is evaluation path? Where do you use it and why you use it? Right. So there is also a nice blog in SAP Press blog, okay, so which you can refer. So I will just use that evaluation path. So very nicely they have presented. You can always refer this one with an example. They are giving what are the evaluation paths in SAP OM. Okay, so this is the diagram position of given person they have given, and what are the principles behind this, naming principles behind the evaluation path. OSP, what the meaning of it? They have tried to explain it here in the evaluation path, right? So now also they talked about the report RHSTRU00. Okay, how to use this report for your understanding the evaluation part. What are the functionalities or detailed functionalities? This very nice blog, and you will be finding this blog in this SAP Press blog, right? So this is I will recommend to study about it. Now, next coming to the next question, what is internal payroll process? This is the process question, so nothing related to directly to SAP. So that you can go through the answer, and you write your own answer from your experience or from your knowledge. Then the question, the next question is what is meant by pay scale structure? How do you configure pay scale structure? So this is something again a technical payroll related question, and go through it. Next is how do you import pay scale data? I think it's a repeated question. I have seen it earlier also. I'm skipping it for now. Next is how to assign a person to different person number. I think it's already a repeated question. What is meant by schema? The industry started to be entered. What is meant by authorization? These are all repeated questions. So skip it. Slav. Is something to be put in the site for contribution on efficiency. Yeah, so I think this is the question. What is internal recruitment? So this again, you have to think about it. My questions. What are the problems generally faced using payroll posting? And FICO, what is controlling area? This is related to FI question, FI module, but you should have knowledge on this, right? Then what is purpose of creating symbolic account? What is the transaction code used for the same? Can we assign one symbolic account to multiple base types? This is an interesting question. I'm expecting an answer from you. You can write down your answer in the chat. So I move to the next one. So then again, questions where can we see the integration switch is on or not? Is there any table? So Flocky organ is commonly used. Then next question is how to find the UZR of a country. So this is again like commonly asked question. How can we give absence quotas for a group of employees? How to create a waste type? I want to decode that. We'll know where it asks for evaluation path. I want to generate a report. So this is again a report which you can see. These are all tactical questions. So from an interview point of view, yes, companies ask these questions. You have to anyway remember how to find the UZR of an country, right? Then we want to know the country goes through Molga. Okay, so what is the Molga? They may ask, right? Then I had to create a root organization unit in development system. Now I want to transport the changes to test and production system. Then this is X, no transfer data to be generated. So it is otherwise going to change this. Okay, so how they're asking. So basically, if you only need to create one root object, it is simpler to do it manually in all systems. Don't have to check the range number in all the systems. These are all the interesting questions. So for the time being, we will stop here. Then we will just bookmark this page. From the next session, we will continue with the remaining part of it. Thank you very much for joining in this mock interview sessions. So just we have seen a lot of questions which you may get in your interviews. So, but try to answer in your own language, in your own way. Do not rely on the answer which you are seeing in the screen. Right? That is the recommendations. Thank you very much once again for joining in. See you soon in the next session.